Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Opinion Machine, the show where we talk about all things gaming. My name is Killjoy, and today we're going to be taking a look at some Smash Brothers stuff. Specifically, this is a bit of a random tier list, but it's essentially the newcomers that got added to the game, including Echoes and basically all the new base roster newcomers and the DLC ones. So all the characters at the bottom here you can kind of ignore. I'm pretty sure I've added everybody that's in there properly that wasn't that got added into Smash Ultimate. But essentially, I want to just put like my own thoughts and feelings out here. Now, like, I'm going to say this off the bat. This is completely personal on the amount of enjoyment I had with each of these characters. This is not to say any of these characters are bad by any means, because they're not. It's simply how I have enjoyed playing them and like where I would rank them in terms of like, hey, I think this character is really fun to play versus I don't think this character is very fun to play. And that's just based on my own personal preferences. This isn't to say that X character is like amazing in the game or Y, and then Y character is crap. It's nothing like that. It's just, here are the characters that I personally think are the most fun to play out of the new characters that were added into Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. So, we're going to do that. I will be doing some other stuff like this in the future as well, with some of the looking at the newer stages that got added, the new stages plus the DLC ones, and then maybe ranking some of the trailers and stuff as well. But we'll get to that another time. Let's start things off then. Let's go with let's go with Inkling, because Inkling was the first character that we got shown off. Now I actually think Inkling is quite fun to play. I just haven't played a lot of Inkling. Like, I think Inkling's like moveset is really well designed. I think Inkling is a very fun, fast character. And just to give you, I haven't bothered changing this. S is like a main or a character that I would happily main. A is a good character. B is probably someone I've played a bit, and then C is probably a character I just don't enjoy playing or don't play a lot of. And I probably have to put Inkling in B. Not because Inkling feels a lot of fun to play. I just don't play a huge amount of Inkling, so for me, this is a character that, when I play random a lot of the time, comes up, I'm like, oh, this is great, this is a really fun character, but I've hardly put any time into Inkling. But I would recommend anybody who wants a fast kind of character that has a fun, like, the bomb projectile is one of my favourite moves that Inkling has. Really, really fun. You've obviously got the paintbrush, and also a character that excels in both solo and also in group play quite well, so yeah, not a character I've played a huge amount. Definitely not S tier or A for me in terms of a character I get a lot of enjoyment out of, but definitely a fun character nonetheless. And I think, you know, if you like those fast kind of characters, I'm really bad with Inkling's aerials. I just never got the time down for them, so I always whiff them. But definitely potential to have a lot of fun with that character. Who are we gonna go to next? Let's go with Ridley. Let's put you here. Ridley was definitely one of the coolest characters added to this game. You know, being this big, evil, very, very villainous evil dragon, actually has some of the best animations in terms of pure, like, out to kill the other characters, which I love. I really like Ridley. I don't play him maybe as much as I would like to sometimes, but for like a semi-heavyweight, because weirdly enough, Ridley isn't that heavy compared to some of the other heavyweights. I think Ridley's really, really fun. I think being able to play a character that has an extra jump, is fairly mobile, has some really fun animations and attacks, has one of the best final smashes in the game as well. But just overall, like, playing him is a lot of fun. He's got, obviously the fireball move is a really, really good way of keeping people off stage. His down B is one of the most fun things to land in the entire game when you nail it. His aerial moves are fun. He's just for a slightly heavier character, or sort of like, he's not a super heavyweight, but like for a heavyweight kind of character, he's a lot of fun to play. I would really recommend that if you want, especially in this game with the heavyweights, except for like King DDD, who just feels slow, most of the heavyweights feel genuinely like fun and fast to play. And he's just got a really, really vicious moveset that's it looks good and it feels good to play at Ridley, basically. That's kind of how I like him. Alright, moving on then. Let's go with... Let's go with... I'm going to put Kazuya. I'm going to put Kazuya. I don't know how you pronounce it properly. I'm going to put him in B. this is a character that I really wanted to gel with to start with, but as I've played him over time, I find he requires a high, like, it's a high skill ceiling with him. Like, you really have to essentially know or memorize a lot of the moves, because he has a very unique mechanic, which I really appreciate. Like, this was a character I wasn't like super hyped for, but like playing him, I'm like, oh wow, they did a fantastic job. He feels like he's out of Tekken, but he also, I don't know what it is about him. Like, I think it's because you have to remember the different properties that all of the moves have, like which ones can trip someone up, which ones can knock them away, stun. On top of, he's got like loads of stuff. Like, he's very well designed, but he's a character that I did try to play for a while, and honestly, I'd rather play the easier Shoto characters, because they're just easier to get to grips with. If I was to spend a lot of time playing Kazuya, like, I think I could get quite good with him, but he is a very, very tough character. In fact, I would say he's probably one of the hardest characters in the game to get good with, and people may disagree there, but you know, he's up there with like Shulk and some of the other characters that I'm like, you know, Steve is another character who's really hard to use. But overall, yeah, a character that can be fun, and I think kind of excels in group matches to a degree. Like, he's very good in 1v1s because his combo game is like insane, but sometimes I just think it's quite easy to overwhelm him and get him off stage and things. But luckily his jump and his up B are pretty decent. So, very strange character. Definitely the same sort of tier as Inkling. Someone I just haven't... I have played a bit of him, but he's just kind of fallen off now, and I'm like... He's just very hard to play. Like, that's kind of what stops him being, like, super fun for me. It's so much information to retain. So... Alright, let's go with... Alright, Simon and Richter. Definitely a lot of fun to play for me, personally. Like, actually, you know what? I think that is a little bit too high. I think these guys definitely have to go into A. I do play them quite a lot, but not to the levels of some of these characters on this list. And for me, Simon and Richter, like, I know that their playstyle online can be really boring, but like, if you actually get pretty good with their whole mechanics, like the downslide and the range of the whip, and like, there's a lot going on with Simon and Richter, and honestly, to me, they're one of the most unique feeling characters in the game, because obviously if you whack the whip into the wall and stuff, you know, your moves don't register. Like, there's everything. There's so much love and attention in this character that just is a lot of fun to play. And I don't tend to play characters, you know, I don't tend to play super projectile-y. Like, I'm not one of these characters that stays away and just fires projectiles and then goes in for a smash attack. Like, if I play Simon and Richter, I tend to use the down tilt move quite a lot to get in, and then use forward tilt a lot more of the whip rather than the actual specials. I mean, it's not that I won't use them, I just don't use them as much as people do online. You know, they'll chuck you down in the holy fire and then forward smash you and stuff. Yeah, that's not really my playstyle, so I like to play a much more on top of you kind of playstyle, which is probably not how you're meant to play the characters. However, you know, I enjoy these characters a lot. They're probably not in my, you know, main sort of thing, but they're like, you know, as a secondary or something, I would happily play Simon and Richter. They're a lot of fun, they've got a really interesting moveset, and they're quite versatile, you know, and they have their downsides, which makes them, you know, a lot of fun. And they also have the Belmont strut, which, you know, you can't deny is one of the coolest walking animations ever, so that's where they go. Let's go for somebody that I absolutely love then. Let's go with Ken. Ken is definitely one of my mains. I wouldn't say I was necessarily good with Ken, but, you know, he is a character that I like. Ryu a lot, but Ken, for some reason, I think it's because I really wanted to get good at like doing combos with him, and I'm not very good with Ken. Like, I think he's a character that I can pull cool things off with him, but it's usually by accident. Most of the time I like to just try and get on top of people and go for a few combo hits and knock them away and then follow up and stuff, but like, in terms of like the actual amazing combos you can do with him, I'm terrible at. He has his inputs like most other Shotos. He has extra like moves hidden on the stick and stuff, and yeah, and I really like this character. This is a character I've had a lot of fun with, and this is a character that, like, when I win with him, I feel like I've like earned that win sometimes, because when I play with my friends, if I pick someone like Rool, who I'll get to in a bit, who is basically like a main for me, you know, I feel like I can do a fairly good job. But Ken's always one of those characters where I'm like, I know how to play him, I just don't think I'm good at playing him, and it always feels challenging. So he's always a fun one for me to pick, so that I can just go, hey, I'm gonna try and challenge myself. I want to get better with Ken. And overall, I love the Street Fighter characters anyway. Him and Ryu are awesome, having the abilities they do. And Ken's up B as well, and you like land it and kill someone off. It always looks really fun. It feels satisfying to do. And for me, he's definitely a character that I try to main quite a lot, or play quite a lot, I should say. The varying success, really. So, all right. Let's see what else we got here going on. Let's chuck Dark Samus in B as well. Dark Samus is a really good inclusion. I think Dark Samus is, you know, I know pretty much the same as regular Samus. Obviously, some of the animations are different for dodging and stuff like that. But as an Echo Fighter goes, excuse me, I actually really enjoyed this character. I think this character is, like Samus as well, it's just really fun to use. Like, feels better than they've ever felt in this game. But Dark Samus is a character that I will play, but definitely not a main secondary kind of character. But get them on random, I'm all for it. Like, just a fun, rangy type character, but I like getting up close to them, getting the grab, chucking them on the ground, using the air attacks a lot with Dark Samus, and really just kind of getting up in people's faces. Again, probably not the proper way to play, but that's how I play a lot of the characters. I don't really stand in the corner firing projectiles. I like to have a charge shot ready when I need it and when I can catch people off stage, but yeah, I'm not going to stand there and just keep charging the beam up and things. So yeah, I really like the inclusion of this character. Fun Echo Fighter. And with that, let's put Krom in there as well. Now, Krom's a bit weird because he's an Echo Fighter. Technically, Ken is an Echo Fighter, but I think he's got so many differences to Ryu that he feels very different. Krom basically is Roy, except with more of an I cut B, so he has some differences. He doesn't have the hilt ability either. Excuse me, I do apologise. He doesn't have the hilt ability that Roy has, and I do play Roy. To me would be S, because I play Roy a lot. But I do like to pop Krom out from time to time. I think he's a lot of fun to play. His recovery is dreadful. But I think because he plays a lot like Roy, I do very much enjoy him. And yeah, he's just a fun character. His up B is definitely weaker, even though it's got super armor than Roy's. But yeah, sometimes I like to play Krom versus Roy and stuff like that. Just fun matchups and stuff, like just a fun Echo Fighter. Right, have we got any? I know I'm going to upset a lot of people right now. Right, but let me explain. Joker is definitely one of my least played characters in this game. Now, Joker is a character that I love the fact that he's in the game. I love the stage. I love the music. But his playstyle is incredibly boring to me. And out of all the DLC characters, he's probably my least favourite one to play. Out of all the newcomers, I should say. And that doesn't, again, it's not to say that he's bad, because you get to see high-level play with him and he's fantastic. But the problem is Joker has his mechanics just aren't interesting to me as a player. So he's got like the grappling hook's probably the most interesting thing to me, like, you know, yanking people and grabbing them towards you. But generally, like, his gimmick with Arsene isn't that interesting. It just kind of makes him a bit stronger, and he's got like another counter and things like that. Like, he's definitely a character I struggled to fight against for sure, because he's very quick, he's got a lot of good moves, but overall, he's just somebody I just never really gelled with. I didn't really enjoy playing him that much, and even now, like, I don't mind playing him. Like, I will pick him from time to time, and he will come up on random and things, but just in terms of, like, the play style, the way he's designed, it's just not me at all. And in fact, probably not my least, but probably down there as one of my least favorite characters to play in this game. You know, Jigglypuff is still in every game probably being my least favorite character, but I would say that Joker, you know, he's fun to play, but I think a lot of his moves don't look particularly like interesting. Like, so when you click out, I don't know what the move's called, but like the ability to like essentially put a damage over time on somebody, and you got the gun, and then you got the grappling hook, and then obviously Arsene. None of these moves look like particularly fancy, even though he moves in a way, and like everything about him, this character looks incredible. I don't know, there's just something that I just don't gel with him as a character. So for me, he's someone I will get on random, or I will occasionally pick, but I try to avoid playing Joker a lot. It's just not for me. So in the same vein, I guess we can put Steve in there. Now, to be fair, I actually don't, there are parts of Steve that I like to play. I think Steve has some particularly fun and stupid moments that can occur. The only problem with Steve is that, again, he's kind of like one of those characters that's very, very, very hard, like Kazuya. But the difference is, like, Kazuya is very, he's like a Shoto. I kind of like the way the Shotos work. Steve, I will, again, pop from time to time, but he is a hard character to use. His playstyle is very bizarre. He still feels like a mod, you know, at this point. And again, I don't hate him as a character. Like, I think I was so shocked, like everyone else, when he got announced. I think he's very unique, unlike Joker. I think Steve is legit one of the most unique characters in the game, but he's hard to use, you know. And I mean, I struggle with him, but again, he doesn't really suit my playstyle. You know, that's kind of what the C bracket's for here. Is these are just people that don't really suit my playstyle, and I don't really have that much fun with. Like, I mean, I can have fun with them, but you know, I'd rather be playing somebody else. And Steve, over time, I've definitely grown kind of a bit more like into what he brings. But Jesus Christ, like the amount of times I mess up his recovery, the amount of times I like forget I can build blocks. You know, I generally just use the minecart and the dynamite rather than his other specials and stuff. And I do like the fact that you can just stand there mining away while people are fighting and things. But yeah, he's a character that's kind of the opposite to Joker. Joker's quite simple to use, I think, in a lot of ways, but just doesn't feel that fun. Whereas Steve, like, is very complicated, and there is fun to be had with him, but like, he's a bizarre character to play. Definitely, like I said, up there with sort of Shulk and Kazuya in terms of some of the harder characters to play in the game. Alright, let's go with Hero. Hero, I remember not being that bothered by when he got announced, but my god, is he fun. Like, Hero's one of those characters that he basically, to be fair, he basically plays like Link for the most part with just sword and shield. And then when you get the spells out, that stuff just gets nutty. Like, the way that he is, and, you know, like the way that he essentially has this random amount of spells is just, it's just funny. And I think that's kind of like what makes him interesting. Like, I like playing him from time to time because there is going to be shenanigans happening in a match. Like, you can forward smash and suddenly critical hit and kill someone when you shouldn't have done it, or you know, you pull out a kamikaze or a zoom or something at the right time, and it just kind of feels like, oh, that's so stupid. But you know, that's what he brings, and I appreciate that. He's not someone I'm going to main. I would probably play like Link over Hero. However, I think this is a character that is worth playing and putting some time into, just based on the fact that random stuff is going to happen, and I like that, and I like that about Smash. And yes, people can get frustrated with some of the randomness, but my god, it's just funny. Like, being able to like forward smash kill someone, or then putting them to sleep, you know, just happen to pull out the right set of spells. I mean, it can obviously do the opposite and mess you up, which is also funny. But yeah, I think Hero is probably one of the most interesting additions in the game in terms of that randomness, and that I like. All right, moving on. Let's go with Terry. Terry's definitely up there for me. Terry's one of those characters that's I like the fighting game characters in this. Obviously, you can see the difference between my enjoyment for Ken and Terry versus Kazuya. That's how much harder Kazuya is to use. Terry, to me, is one of the most fun characters in this game in terms of newcomers. I really like him. I think that he's got the extra special. The fact that he's got the inputs. He's a little bit easier to play than Ken and Ryu in some aspects. He's quite easy to combo with. You know, and I know that he's probably he's probably the character in this game that like nobody knows about, you know, and he definitely feels very much, you know, like the South American people loved Fatal Fury and King of Fighters, and the Americans do as well, but like, that's where he really shone through. The rest of the world were like, who is this person? It's funny that he's next to Ken, actually, because they always be like, oh, it's Ken with a hat and stuff. But he's just really fun, suits my playstyle, has amazing taunts, great stage he comes with. Like, everything about this character is awesome. The love and attention put into him and the way that he plays. I think he's one of the easier Shoto-style characters to play. And I just really like the moves he has, the fact that he's got like an anti-air, a very powerful forward special, his down special's kind of nuts. You know, he's got power wave and things. Like, he's got a really nice move set. He's not like super amazing at recovering, and he's definitely got his issues. Like, as a character, he's not like the easiest character to use, but there's a lot of fun to be had with Terry, and also having the built-in Buster Wolf and Power Geyser, I think it is, and things like that are really, really fun. And to me, I just really gelled with these characters. The same with Ken. Like, you know, I just gel with the Shoto characters quite a lot. I really enjoy their playstyle. I find them, you know, trying to combo with these characters really enjoyable, and like learning what you can and can't do. And again, I'm not like super good with him, but he is definitely, like, I would say both of them are basically mains. Out of all these characters so far, those two characters I would happily main, you know, and really enjoy it. So Terry is just, to me, is just a lot of fun. I know other people could turn around and say, actually, it can be quite difficult to use, but compared to some of the other characters on this list, I think he's definitely up there. Right, let's go with Sephiroth. We'll stick you in B. I think Sephiroth was a character that nobody expected in this game. I don't have much experience with Final Fantasy. I wasn't exactly hyped when he got announced. However, he is a character that is a lot of fun to play also. He's surprisingly slower than you might think. But he's just one of those characters that just turned out to be really fun. But he's definitely not someone I would main or secondary kind of thing. Like, he was just... There's not really much... He's one of those characters that's in a weird spot where it's like, I really enjoy playing him, but I don't play him very much. You know, and I don't necessarily... Because he's... It's weird, and I'll get on to... Like I said, I'll get on to K-Rool. Maybe I'll do him next. But, like, Sephiroth feels like he's not... He's kind of like a heavyweight, or he's just like a middleweight, but very slow. Unlike someone like K-Rool or Ridley that are like heavyweights and a bit quicker. But, you know, it's understandable with the reach that he has on his weapon. He's got some very good moves. The explosion move is incredibly fun to use. I think just for me, he's a very precise character. A lot of he has wide arcing moves, and then he's got very precise moves. And I think you have to learn how to do the precise moves, like the forward air, and I think it's the up smash and stuff. Like, once you kind of nail down like how he works and how he plays, I think he's very fun. But I have never put enough time into him to really practice that. A lot of the time I just go for the wide arcing moves that he has. Even his down smash is a very strange move where he just kind of sticks his sword in the ground. But he has a cool comeback mechanic as well with the one wing angel, which I think gives him super armor on his forward smash, and I think it's an extra jump, or he moves a bit quicker, or something like that. It's not a huge buff, but it is quite nice. And his forward smash looks awesome, especially when you land it. So Sephiroth's one of those characters that I think is, for a lot of people, is probably going to be up there. Like, oh my god, you know, really, really like him playing him. But for me, he's fun, but he's definitely not like main or secondary material. Like, he's like the other four people in this column, where it's like, I enjoy playing them, but I don't pick them nearly as often as the other characters above them. So A and S is definitely characters I play a lot of. Let's just get K-Rool out of the way. K-Rool is basically my main in this game. To me, I was going to main him from the start, so my bias is definitely there. He's a character that I love to just play. I feel so comfortable and confident playing this character. He has a goofy-ass look, a goofy-ass moveset, but he also has a really cool mechanic in the sense of armor. And I just love the fact that this was the character I personally wanted in this game, and I can't hide those biases. Like, he is my favorite character in the game. He played in a way that I absolutely love. And the time of recording this, since Sora's out and stuff, he actually got buffed, and he got some really good buffs, and quite frankly, they basically made my character even better, and I think it's great. I love K-Rool. He's what I call the noob killer. If you're new to this game and someone picks K-Rool, you'll probably get your ass whooped. However, he is slow. He definitely feels a bit quicker than Sephiroth. He's one of those characters, and once you figure out, because all of his moves have large wind up, his up tilt and his forward tilt and down tilt, like everything's got a large wind up on it. Once you figure him out, he can be quite easy to beat. But he is just so much fun to play. He does have projectiles, but I think for me the most fun thing is using a lot of his aerial attacks, using a lot of his other moves he has. His forward air is one of the best moves in the game in my opinion, just like hopping to that. Neutral air is really powerful. I love Rool, and it's not often that I would stick to playing a heavy in a game. I'm much more of a medium, like Luigi and Ness. I think Luigi's kind of a medium-ish, or on the lower end of that, and Ness is more of a light character. Luigi and Ness have always been my mains in every Smash game up to this one, because I just love how they play. But yeah, Rool, like for me personally, no one is as fun as Rool. By the way, even though they're in the categories, they're not in order. Like Rool technically would be here, but I'm not gonna start ordering them in that. It's just stick them in the categories. All right. Let's go with Min Min here. Min Min is phenomenal, right? Min Min is one of those characters that has such a unique design, and I'm like, this is awesome. However, Min Min's also one of the hardest characters to use in the game, I think, and I think that varies depending on, like, it massively depends on the stage and how many people you're playing with. There are times when Min Min feels fucking unfair to fight against, where you just keep, like, you try and get back on stage and she keeps chucking out the ram or whatever. But there are other times where I play as Min Min and I feel like I never hit my opponent, and like I'm like, oh no, they've got over my hitbox. You know, I really have to think about, like, it's definitely a character you have to think about, and knowing how those arms work. And that design is fantastic. Really, really well designed character, but my god, this is a character you want to put time into. If you're going to play Min Min and you like how Min Min works, you have to put time into. I don't play Min Min that much. Like, I did for a little bit, but like massively dropped off now because it was just... I play, because I don't play competitively, I play on all the stages, I play on a lot of things, and there are definitely stages that massively benefit Min Min, and there are other ones that do not, and it's just one of those characters that's like, it's actually kind of fun when you've got two people playing Min Min. You're like trying to do a bit of the back and forth, and almost like a 2D arms match, which I really like. But yeah, overall, this is a character that is fun to play, but definitely kind of like most of the characters in the B rank to me are like characters that are fun to play, but have some sort of difficulty to them. Maybe except Inkling, the other and Dark Samus, sorry, but Kazuya, Hero, Sephiroth, they all have some difficulty to them, which makes them interesting and fun. But there is a learning curve there. It's definitely mostly Kazuya and Min Min being the two hardest characters out of that entire row, I think. And similar to Steve, I guess, where like just straight up just difficult to use. Alright, Byleth, definitely in C. I don't hate Byleth, I'm not one of these people that hates Byleth. I just don't find the playstyle that interesting for me personally. It's quite simple, and it's cool that each direction on the specials has a different attack style. But I dabble with Byleth from time to time, but there are other Fire Emblem characters I'd rather play. I will definitely say that I'd rather play Byleth over Corrin a lot of the time, or Robin. Again, nothing wrong with those characters, it's just like I'd probably play Byleth over them. But like when there's Roy and Ike and Krom, I'm like, you know what, I'd rather just play those characters. But Byleth has a fun moveset, probably one of the easier characters to use on this list once you kind of get the speed down of each move. Having the axe act as like a falcon punch is quite nice. But just the excitement for this character, like, remove the fact that people, got sick of Fire Emblem. This character is basically, it feels like a Monster Hunter character with the different weapons. But I would say that, this is one of those characters that I think you're either going to really enjoy or never play. And for me, Byleth's one of those, it's just kind of on the lower end of being played. I don't necessarily enjoy playing Byleth that much. Or it's not that I don't enjoy, it's just not a character I'm going to pick that much over all the other characters above, basically. But if you like the mix of different weapons and you like some of the things that Byleth brings to the table, you'll have a good time. But for me, just not that. I just don't want to put the time into a character that I don't find that fun to play, really. So Piranha Plant, you're probably up. Yeah, I'd put Piranha Plant in A, I think. Piranha Plant to me is bonkers ass character anyway. Like, why are you even in the game? Just generic Mario enemy, but does have a very fun move set. Has a fairly good recovery. Is strangely enough on the heavier side of the characters, which is odd. But I do like how Piranha Plant plays. You play a lot like the poison game. You do have the Patooey move with the spike ball. You've obviously got the move where you can retract into the plant, the pipe or the plant bot. Latch out and bite people. But it's a lot of Piranha Plant's normals that I really enjoy. I like doing a lot of the poison and trying to keep people in the poison and grabbing them and like beating them up with that. And he's just funny to watch. He's got a stupid design in a lot of ways, but overall Piranha Plant's a character that I would secondary Piranha Plant. I think he's fun to play. He's got interesting moves. Maybe not the easiest character to use, because some of his moves feel a bit weird, like the double tap on the tilts and stuff and whatnot. But you know what? He's just fun. He's goofy. He's kind of like Rool, which is one of those characters just goofy as all hell. And but it's hard not to like him. He's got really good animations and he's got good moves. He's got unique moves. And overall, I think he's actually quite a fun character to play. But definitely, I wouldn't recommend starting with him. But you know, once you get good enough at the game, if you think he's fun, play him. Alright, so now we'll ask for these boys. Isabel. I think Isabel goes into C. I don't play much of Isabel or Villager. I think I would rather play Villager. However, Isabel does have the fishing rod, which is really, really good. Again, just a character that's very bizarre to play. Very, very uncommon moveset. Everything's kind of weird. Obviously pulled from the game, Animal Crossing and stuff. Again, nothing bad with Isabel. I think you can have some fun matches, but it's just one of those characters where it's like, if I have to pick between Isabel and Villager, I'm probably going to pick Villager. I think I'm more comfortable with him. I think I actually prefer him having the gyroid going left and right instead of the one that goes up into the air with Isabel and then tree and things like that. But definitely a character that's a lot of fun, sort of semi kind of cloney character. Definitely has a lot of inspiration and similar moves to Villager, but definitely the specials are very different. So if you want to play one or the other, I'd recommend that. You'll be able to, there is some crossover there, but just a character that just definitely doesn't really suit my playstyle. I guess Villager would probably be down there as well. I couldn't see Villager being in B or above. But I think I would rather pick Villager over Isabel. Like bowling ball and some of the moves that Villager has are just kind of ridiculous. So, alright, Banjo-Kazooie. Oh, I think I'm going to upset some people with this. Very fun to play. I do not play him that much. He's definitely not in the C category. But he's a character that I actually like the fact that there's a simplicity to him. But I'm not very good with him either. Like, I always forget, like... I always kind of forget how he plays when I play him, because I don't play him that often. I'm like, oh, he's got a little bit of Donkey Kong in him, and he's got a little bit of like other characters and things, and he is fun. Like, straight up, he's a really fun character to use. But it doesn't. I think I like to have someone with a bit more hard-hitting aerials, and his aerials aren't that. Apart from his forward aerial, a lot of his moves are much more, I guess, combo potential, I guess, which can be fine. But I don't know, like he's not bad at all. Like, he's a fun character to use. Wonder Wing's obviously an incredible move, but yeah, just not someone that I play enough to be able to put enough time into, but would happily play. You know, like if he comes up, I'm like, oh, awesome. I do like, especially his forward and backward smash. I love the way that he grabs Kazooie and just slams her into the ground and stuff. So there's a lot of fun to be had with Banjo-Kazooie, but definitely not someone that I would probably main myself. Just a lot of this comes down to practice, and his playstyle, his aerials can feel sometimes quite short. So if you're not used to the range on them, there's a bit of a learning curve there, really. So yeah, obviously not. I'd play him over these people, but he's not up here with some of those other. In fact, if I was arranging these, Banjo and Hero and Dark Samus would probably be at the front, honestly. But yeah. Just a character that is there. I never liked his original games, if I'm honest, but I like the fact that he's in the game, and I like the way he's designed, and I like the way he plays. So, Incineroar is definitely an A1 for me. Like, there's something about these heavyweights and having really dumb moves and stuff that's a lot of fun. he's just a wrestling cat. He is a lot of fun to play. I really like him in group matches. A lot of grabbing and slamming people and up being and things. He is on the slower side. His recovery kind of sucks, but there is something very fun about watching this cat just grab people and suplex them into the ground and send people flying and all that good stuff. Like, he's just straight up just a fun character to use. Having the lariat, having the even the throw them into the ropes move. I mean, you can't deny that's not fun. And he is one of those characters that I do like playing. It's just, if you're going to play him, he's a bit slow. In fact, he's got the slowest or second slowest run speed in the game. So that's that animation's cute. But he's fun. I like it when he comes up. I wouldn't want to main him. I think he's a very hard character to main. But he is just a fun character to jump into, and especially in those group matches, if you're playing like a free-for-all and there's like 4 or 5 of you, you can cause some mayhem with Incineroar, just chucking people into other people, into the ropes. Like, I love it. Alright, leaves us with the last two. So Pyra and Mythra, probably going to be, where are we going to put you? Probably there. Oh, I don't know, I feel like there should be a category for them, because it's like, what I've played of Pyra and Mythra, which I will admit has not been a huge amount, I actually do like. I like the way they play. I think they're a lot of fun. But I don't know whether I would second them. I think I'll leave Pyra and Mythra where they are. They're fun, right? I'm not going to take that away. They are fun. I actually really like the switching mechanic. It's fun playing as Mythra and then switching to Pyra. They're very unique. They're very unique and very different from one another with their specials as well. Especially that side B that Mythra has. That's kind of crazy. But like, I think again, because of their slight difficultiness there and things like, and they're also a swordy, and I don't think there are any sword apart from Krom and some of the Fire Emblem characters I've said about. I think a lot of the characters that I personally play, like Luigi, Ness, Captain Falcon, Ganondorf, Wario, a lot of these characters that I personally play tend to be brawlers, and they use their fists. Like, I do play Roy, and I do occasionally play Ike and Krom, but the characters I tend to play don't have swords, and so, if I was going to pick one swordy in the game, it would probably be Young Link, that wasn't a Fire Emblem character, or even just normal Link. A lot of the time I stay away from sword characters, and Pyra and Mythra, like, they are different, but I prefer my characters to be a bit quicker and on top, and just kind of be pummeling people like that. But I do like the fact that you have the ability to switch between them, and that mechanic alone, and the fact that their specials are so different is a lot of fun. I think Mythra is more fun for me because she is quicker. But, killing people with prominence from Voke, which is Pyra's up B, is pretty funny. And that move does a lot of damage. So, yeah, I'd probably put them in B. I think they're a lot of fun, just not someone I'm going to pick on the regular. And that leaves us to Sora. Now, Sora, at this time of recording, I have played some stuff with him. Like, not a huge amount. And I think he's probably going to go into B as well. And the reason for that is that his moveset is, luckily for a lot of people, it feels like he's a bit of a simpler character to play as because people really like him. A lot of his moves have that triple combo ability, and then his specials are quite simple. I actually really like the special where he darts into people. I think that's really cool. I like the fact that you've got the fire, ice, lightning one. But overall, he's just a character that I think, because a lot of he's got his neutral air, his forward air, his standard attack and forward tilt. I think they're all the moves that have the triple hit combo, which is massively, like, it makes sense. That's how he is. I think having so many moves, like, well, 4 moves linked to that, kind of like, I sometimes forget which one I'm doing. And I think he's going to be a lot of fun. I love the fact that he's floaty as all hell. I like the fact that he is fun to play. Like, I think in one-on-one situations he's going to be a very powerful character, a very combo-heavy character, which would make sense because he's like that from his games. But I don't think he's going to be somebody that I'm going to pick that often. Like, I'm definitely playing him a lot in the moment, but going on current trends and things and saying about swordies, like, I would rather play the characters you see above: Simon, Richter, Ridley, Rool, Terry. Like, those characters to me more my playstyle. They fit the kind of, like I said, most of these characters are all brawlers, for the exception of Krom and probably Simon and Richter. And Sora's just a lot of fun. He will always be a lot of fun. I'm really glad for people he's in the game, but in terms of how he works and the way that his moves work, probably not my playstyle. Like, I'll still play him. I'm still playing him at the moment because I'm still trying to get used to him. But overall, I think he's a character that's probably got a high skill ceiling again in terms of being like really good with him. But he's very simple compared to some of these other characters on this list. So, and there you go. That is essentially my list of characters that I think, you know, this is in terms of my personal enjoyment. This is just my personal enjoyment of these newcomers that are in the game. And you know what? They're all fun in their own right. I think Joker really is one of my least favorite characters to play. But if you love Joker, great. You know, I don't expect everyone to love K. Rool as much as I do. You know, if Sora's just come out, he's probably going to be higher on people's lists. You know, whether that's recency bias or just because you love him. You know, but all in all, this is just to show, like, these are the characters that are new to the game. This is how much fun I have personally had with them. You know, whether I would main them or secondary them or not play them at all. So, thank you very much for watching. As always, if you enjoyed the video, hit the like button. If you want to see more content like this, hit subscribe. Links for Facebook and Twitter will be down below in the description as always. And until next video, I will see you then.